Hey, good morning. It is Friday, December 23rd, 2022. One of the reasons why I'm here in my room is because my darn car broke again. So I got to be doing this out of my place as opposed to on the beat in the street. But before I get back to work and all this good stuff while my car is getting fixed and all this, I just got to let this out. As long as I'm in downtime, I got to let this out. Back on the 17th, I had discussed about the container border wall, the shipping containers that are placed upon the border wall, and how much BS that it was. I honestly said that this was nothing but a hustle. The state was putting a bunch of containers along the border wall illegally on federal land, and it was all done on tax-paying dollars. It was all being done on tax-paying dollars. And today I find out, yeah, it's true. And with the government suing state of Arizona, more than likely they're going to complain about the costs and expenses of having to remove them. And then that's going to be coming off of the tax-paying dollars as well. So no more than 5 days goes by. And here we got, coming off of the m.washingtontimes.com, Tom Howell Jr. is the reporter, posting it on the 22nd. Arizona feds strike a deal to dismantle shipping container wall on the border. Now, when I saw that, I was like, okay, what's the catch? So they won the court case. The government won the court case against Arizona. What's the catch? Let me read you the article, and then I'll go ahead and comment. Arizona will dismantle a makeshift border wall shipping containers after a long-running dispute between Republican Governor Ducey, and the Biden administration. The state spent more than $80 million to plug holes in fencing along the border wall with Mexico. But the Biden team sued over the project, accusing the state of damaging the ecosystem and operating illegally on federal land in Coronado National Forest. Mr. Ducey office and the federal officials struck an agreement Wednesday that will remove all previous installed shipping containers and associated equipment, materials, vehicles, and other objects near Yuma and the National Forest. Arizona officials argued that the project was a temporary yet needed solution because the Biden team wasn't doing enough to secure the border. Environmental groups sued over the container wall, saying it divided important land for species that traverse the area. 2 of the shipping containers were tipped over in August, prompting the governor's office to claim sabotage and adding to the controversy. The deal coincides with angst over an uptick in border crossings ahead of the likely removal of Title 42, the pandemic provision that allowed the U.S. to turn people away at the border. The Supreme Court temporarily paused plans to lift the policy this week. Boo. Some Republican lawmakers are pushing to include the policy in this week's federal funding bill. That's that 1.7 trillion that everybody is noticing, which is needed to approve a government to avoid a government shutdown. Okay, and I do apologize for that, but I got to get to this. Okay, as speculated that this was nothing but a hustle, now the money's showing. $80 million has been used to do this. Okay. The Republican lawmakers are pushing to include the policy this week's at the federal funding bill, which is needed to avoid a government shutdown. I went all the way back down there, just simply because, they smell money. They smell money coming. So the politicians do whatever they can to screw up something or go a certain direction that is not wanted or needed, or is even necessary. And then once that bill, like this 1.7 trillion, comes up, bam, here comes the lawsuits from the state saying, well, we need this much money to operate. We need that much money to operate, and blah, blah, blah. The bull crap goes on. And I've been saying this a lot throughout all of the immigrant policies, particularly like here in Texas, where I live, having to point out places like Kinney County, Kennedy County, Uvalde, Del Rio, all of these little counties with a mayor and a county attorney who will sue the government or work with my state governor, Governor Greg Abbott, to sue the government to have money come down here in the name of border security and receive checks like $750,000 every time that they win a court case. Okay, that's 700,000 to $1.2 million, particularly in Kinney County, $1.2 million in each of these counties under the with the supervision of the governor. Okay, now that same analogy just being done in Arizona. The proof, the $80 million that it costs to plug holes in the border fencing. Okay, it's a desert out there. What the hell fencing do they really need? People are dying and dehydrating. But nevertheless, they claim they have a border wall. There's holes in it. They need to plug it up. And they spent $80 million out of it. How much do you think they're going to get coming back to have it removed and have the government put a border fencing along the line? They're more than likely going to get somewhere around $1 billion or in the hundreds of millions. Either way, it's a win for Arizona to spread the cheer around for their people while they discriminate migrants and all this, making things harder for asylum seekers. Okay, now I had to seriously bring that up because it's all about the money. Belief is a tool. They're going to pull all this corrupt crap aside and they're going to say it makes you safer for it. You're welcome. Back to the article. Arizona officials argue that the project is temporary yet needed solution because the Biden team wasn't doing enough to secure the border. Okay, that's a blame game bullcrap thing. Also, states are in charge of their own borders. They're in charge of their own territory. They honestly couldn't budget anything out to where they could build a fence. Seriously? Man, you could take that and shove it up stick it where the sun don't shine. And finally, environmental groups sued over the container wall, saying it divided important land for species that traverse the area. Okay, to me that's very important because much like the officer, the sheriff in the county in Yuma County, who says that dumping those containers along the border to use as a fence is illegal dumping. Okay, and when you got somebody committing a crime no differently than we witness an assault or homicide, or a theft on public land, you charge that person with a crime. So we even have an Arizona state sheriff that wants to have the governor arrested, including anybody else that's involved. And big props go to that one. He's Santa Cruz County Sheriff David Holloway. Santa Cruz being around the Yuma area, the National Forest area. I can't remember where. I saw it on a map once, but I can't remember where. I did skip one, and I do apologize. No, I didn't. I got it all. No, okay. 2 of the shipping containers are tipped off back in August, prompting the governor's office to claim sabotage and adding to the controversy. Okay, anybody that knows anything about shipping containers, the only thing that keeps them stationary is the dead weight on the ground. If they're stacked on top of each other, you could see for yourself. Look at any kind of shipping yard pictures or whatever. Those are all strapped and secured down. Okay, they've got brackets to go connect from the forklift holes on top and the bottom, and they've got straps that strap them all together, and they got straps that strap one column right next to the other all together, and that's the only way that you can actually keep them stable. And then to top it off, they're only temporarily being shipped on boats or shipped on, well, not even on trucks because it would be too high. Um, the thing is that you just stack them. Condensation alone will have that thing slipping and sliding, and it'll have the top container sliding off of the bottom container. Okay? Condensation alone does that. A team of traffickers, maybe with a couple of pry bars, might actually push it off. Just not even the entire thing, just enough to get it off balanced and have the dead weight of it knocked down. Okay, so this kind of crap where they're being invaded and all this stuff, again, not an invasion. An invasion involves an army or a coup actually assaulting a country. Okay, that's not what's going on here. You got people saying that there's devastation. There's no devastation. There's no land being destroyed. There's no crops being stripped. There's no cattle being slaughtered. There's no farmers being murdered. There's no ranchers being killed. There's not even a report of a dead dog ever since this entire invasion claim has been made. So, no, screw that. This is all a hustle, people. And I know I've said it before. I keep saying it again and again and again. But nevertheless, this is what it boils down to. You're thinking it's about white supremacy. You're thinking it's about a religious belief. That's just the tool. Why? Because belief is the tool. But it's always been about the green. It has always been about the green. Okay? So that's a statement right now. That's all I'm going to say. Again, I'm broke down right now. So I have to do everything from the household instead of on my lunch break while I'm usually working. So for right now, y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. Stay safe out there. Christmas is almost here. Christmas is almost here. Stay safe out there. I wish I could be out there with you. Y'all take care. This is Chris with Chris's Comments, signing out. Sorry, I'm just sort of putting my whole face in here. My big fat head. Here we go.